Good morning. I'm Camille Wilson. Welcome to Say News. Our top story, the smoking buzz at Seneca College. Marijuana becomes legal across Canada a week from today. The provincial government says anywhere you can smoke cigarettes, you can smoke pot. But does that include our campus? Laura Lira joins us now with details. So Laura, can we light up here?
So Camille, students who are caught smoking pot on campus can be fined, but that policy might change after its legalization on October 17th. I spoke to some students to get their opinion on the current policy. Opinion was divided. Here's what they have to say.
Yesterday I was in the class, somebody had a marijuana and just passed it. The smell is bothering us.
I think it's hypocrisy to tell someone that you cannot smoke marijuana.
I think it would be great if they don't accept it, because to be honest it's going to cause kind of danger for other students too.
So I don't know, I think it's a little contradicting. If you're going to set a law for all of Ontario, make it the same, campuses shouldn't be affected with it.
You should prohibit smoking marijuana. I would say even cigarettes should be stopped smoking in the campus, because I'm totally against smoking.
We've set up a poll online. If you want to have your say, go on Twitter, Say News 1, and tell us what you think. Right now, more than half of the votes say that smoking pot on campus should not be allowed. Reporting live for Say News, I'm Laura Lira. Back to you, Camille.
Toronto police have outlined regulations on police smoking marijuana. Cops will not be allowed to smoke pot for 28 days prior to reporting to duty. It takes 28 days for THC to be cleared from the body. Police Chief Mark Saunders says authorities are worried about cases being thrown out of court if an officer tests positive. He says they are being cautious since police carry weapons and sometimes have to run red lights. Hurricane Michael is on course to hit the Florida Panhandle today as a Category 4 storm. Let's get the details from Enrica Amaturo.
A state of emergency has been declared in the Florida state as Hurricane Michael quickly approaches the coast. Now, this is going to be one of the strongest and worst hurricanes that Florida has seen yet. 500,000 residents have been evacuated, and public spaces, universities, and schools have been closed. Now, this is very different in Toronto here at York University, where students can be seen going to their classes. Now, the hurricane is expected to affect transit lines, and as we see in Toronto here, buses are still up and running. But in Florida, it is very different. The biggest concern of Hurricane Michael is the storm surging, the flooding, and the great winds. Now, these winds are expected to reach 220 kilometers an hour, and waves are expected to reach up to 4 meters high. Residents are being urged to evacuate, and 35 areas in Florida coasts have been given this state of emergency. Now, this is very different for Toronto, and I'll have that full weather forecast coming up.
The RCMP say just after 5 p.m. yesterday evening, the Enbridge natural gas pipeline in Prince George, BC, burst, causing fires in the surrounding areas. 100 members from the local community were forced to evacuate as a precaution, but most have been allowed to return home as of today. There has been no injuries or damage reported other than the pipeline itself. The gas supply has been shut down, and police say they still don't have a cause for the explosion. For eager voters, advanced polls are open today for the municipal elections across the province. Advanced polls are open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. until Sunday. There will be 2 locations in each of the 25 wards, including City Hall. The election day is October 22nd. Canadian beauty supply chain DCM will be closing all of its stores following a post by its founder, Brandon Turax, on his Instagram account, stating that almost everyone at his company, DCM, has been involved in major criminal activity, which includes financial crimes. The company has closed roughly 30 stores in Canada, the US, the UK, Mexico, and the Netherlands. Talk about commitment. It's one thing to commit to being a Canadian citizen, but one group took it to a whole new level. 6 new Canadians took their oath of citizenship yesterday, 356 meters high, where they could see the whole of Toronto. They were on the edge walk of the CN Tower. The special ceremony is in recognition of Citizenship Week, October 8th to 14th. It's a good thing they did not It's a good thing they did their oath yesterday in the beautiful weather rather than later this week, as the weather won't be around for too much longer. Here's Enrica with what we can expect for the rest of the week.
That's right, Camille. Now we're seeing a lot of mixed weather across Canada, and that's being caused by this jet stream that's moving from the west right to the east. This high pressure system here is causing very cold weather to be affecting the prairies. We're seeing extreme lows in Saskatoon at -10 degrees. In Regina, we're also seeing very cold weather, -8. Now in the Thunder Bay and southern areas of Manitoba, we are seeing snow. They're sitting at 1 degrees in Winnipeg, and that snow, we're seeing that precipitation happening there. Moving into Toronto, the low pressure system is causing rain as the heat rises and cools the land. Now in Toronto, we're sitting at a high of 26, but it's going to feel like 33. On to tomorrow, we are seeing active precipitation again in Ontario. Just outside of Moosonee, we're starting to see snow. In Moosonee, we're sitting at 3 and they're seeing rain. Different to what we're seeing in Toronto, we're seeing beautiful, nice weather. We're going to see some slight showers and we're sitting at 21 on Thursday. On to Friday. We are seeing that snow hitting Moosonee. They're going to be reaching 1, and in Toronto, we're seeing precipitation there, heavy rains. We're going to be sitting at 11. So as you said, Camille, we're seeing that mixed weather. Now on to outside. We're seeing everyone dressed for the humidity. We are reaching 26 today, but it's going to feel like 33. So students are walking around campus wearing their t-shirts, wearing their shorts, and dressed for the summer-like weather. Now let's look at our provincial forecast. Our cold spot is in Sault Ste. Marie. We're sitting at 9 and it's seeing active precipitation there, so there's a lot of rain. Sudbury is our lowest area. We're seeing clouds, a low of 7, currently 7. In southwestern Ontario, Sarnia and London, we're seeing 19 and 18, mix of sun and clouds. Toronto is our hot spot. We're seeing bright, beautiful sun, 20 degrees. Now let's look at our 4-day forecast. Tonight we are seeing clear skies, 21 degrees, a beautiful night to go for a walk, but don't worry, you don't need that heavy fall jacket. We can enjoy the fall colors and go for our nice walk. But on Thursday, we're starting to see that rain. We're going to be hitting 21, but a low of 19. Make sure you wear your rain boots and an umbrella, but it will be humid, so dress appropriately as it's not going to be too cold yet. On Friday, we're seeing a mix of sun and clouds, slight showers, but our low of 11, so very different from what we're seeing earlier this week, low of 7. On Saturday, we're going to be seeing a mix of sun and clouds, slight rain, mostly cloudy, 10 and 7. The rain is going to trickle slightly into Saturday, but no worries, it's not going to be raining on Sunday, so we can enjoy our weekend plans. Now they're seeing snow in Moosonee. What's happening in hockey, Amanda?
Thanks, Enrica. The Leafs were back in action last night in Dallas. Toronto has won 3 of its first 4 games, averaging 5 goals per contest. Matthews has 7 goals and 3 assists already, while Tavares has scored 5 of his 6 goals in the past 2 games. Here are the highlights of last night's game. At the end of the first, it's 1-1 as Toronto takes the lead with the goal by Austin Matthews. Then 8 minutes into the second, it's 2-2. Matthews scores his second goal of the night, putting the Leafs up by 3-2, eventually going into the third period. 13 minutes into the third, Leafs looking to pad their lead as Zach Hyman scores with a wraparound goal. Connor Brown inches past the D-man as he scores an empty netter, helping the Leafs beat the Stars 7-4. The Leafs certainly have had no trouble filling the net, but is it enough to win it at all? Tristan Lettieri joins us now. Tristan, what do fans think?
Thanks, Amanda. Well, I spoke to a couple fans, and everyone can see that the Leafs' offense is just steamrolling through the league, yet their defense could use a little bit of tweaking. Freddie Anderson made his start last night, allowing 4 goals, making it a total of 17 goals allowed in the season. Nonetheless, our boys in blue are looking amazing. I also spoke to a couple students on campus in regards to the possible William Nylander trade. There is an overwhelming consensus stating we just might not need him due to the high energy the Leafs have been playing with over the past couple of nights. True believers still say that it would be sad to see him go, simply due to watching him grow over the past couple years. Back to you, reporting live for Say News, back to you, Amanda.
Thanks, Tristan. Moving on to the intense Yankees versus Red Sox game last night. At the top of the third inning, Boston's Martinez hit a sacrifice fly to center fielder Hicks as Benintendi scored a run. Heading to the top of the fifth, it's 4-0 Red Sox. Gardner hit a pop fly to left fielder Benintendi as it brought a run in, making it 4-3. Bottom of the ninth, Yankees batter Walker was hit by the pitch. AJ walks the first, while the runner on third walks to home, bringing in a run. Gregorius runs home after a pop fly to left field. It became a one-run game, but the Yankees had 2 outs. Nunez gloves the ball and throws to first with the umpire calling to the Yankees' attempt to challenge, but at the end, the out is confirmed. Red Sox win 4-3, heading to the ALCS matchup against the Astros. Now we're throwing it over to Amal for entertainment. Oh, the Raptors are loading up for their home opener against the Cleveland Cavaliers on Wednesday, October 17th at 7:30 p.m. Toronto's chemistry is still a work in progress as the regular season approaches. The Raptors have to integrate 2 key pieces, Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green, into a stable rotation. The 5th and final preseason game is Thursday in New Orleans. Now here's Amal with entertainment.
Thank you, Amanda. Taylor Swift breaks the record for the most AMA wins by a female artist. This 28-year-old star opened the American Music Awards performing a medley of her songs and taking home with her 4 AMAs and getting a little political in the process.
It's just been, I just want to say to the fans, you have been so nice to me and fun, and you're so funny, and you're so cool and so loyal, and I am so, like, it's not lost on me. I understand how lucky I am to have anyone that cares about me or my music, and wow, okay, every time that you have made me lucky enough to ever get to stand on a stage and have something really sparkly in my hands and say thank you, every single time this happens, it means something differently to me. It means something different every time. It represents something different. And this time, I just want you to know it represents encouragement and motivation for me to be better, work harder, and try to make you guys proud.
Taylor won for the Tour of the Year, Best Pop Rock Album, Favorite Female Artist, Pop Rock, and finally, the Artist of the Year. Swift's grand total of AMA honors is now 23, crossing over late Whitney Houston's previous record of 21 wins. Accepting the awards, she thanked her fans, gushing that every award means something different to her, and this time it represented encouragement and motivation for her to be better and work harder. Further, continuing that these awards were because of people's votes, urging people to vote in midterm elections on November 6, she said, "Get out and vote." Next year's Met Gala will be a downward campaign. No, seriously, the details of the Met Gala 2019 are out. Lady Gaga, along with Harry Styles, Anna Wintour, and tennis superstar Serena Williams will be co-chairing the event. The theme for the event is Camp. It takes place on May 6, marking the opening of the Metropolitan Museum of Art Costume Institute's new exhibition on fashion. The museum said in a statement that it will get its framework from a 1964 essay by Susan Sontag, Notes on the Camp. Lady Gaga was no match for Venom at the box office. However, Shri Wong has details.
Venom, one of Marvel's most badass chapters, come to the big screen in this spin-off, collecting 18 million in the weekend sales to open at #1 in US and Canadian theaters. A Star is Born. On another hand, Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga star in this fourth retelling of the classic take of a founding musician who falls in love with a racing star, which granted him 41.3 million to play second. After Venom and A Star is Born gave October a record-breaking start, a slew of new offers should keep box office giving stronger. On October 12, Universe's First Man should achieve a solid lift-off when it launched in 3,600 theaters. First Man featured Ryan Gosling and Neil Armstrong, and glassed off in the fact based on look at American race to put a man onto the moon. Goosebumps 2, Haunted Halloween could also give First Man a run for its money if the family film comes into the higher end of projection. This movie also based on popular children's book series. Meanwhile, Fox Bedtime as the L Run is airing a wide range between 8 million and 20 million from 2,500 screens. This movie follows 7 strangers who are each hiding dark secrets that come out one night while staying at a hotel. I'm Xie Wang, back to you.
Fans of Call Me By Your Name are excited as a sequel to the movie is in the cards. The first movie is based on Andre Ackerman's 2007 novel of the same name, Call Me By Your Name, and it narrates a romantic relationship between 17-year-old Elio Perlman, played by Timothée Chalamet, and his professor father's 24-year-old graduate student assistant, Oliver, played by Armie Hammer. For the sequel, 50 Shades of Grey star Dakota Johnson is proposed to play Oliver's wife. Director Luca Guadagnino doesn't want the title to be Call Me By Your Name too, and fans had plenty to say, suggesting titles like Call Me By Your Middle Name and I'll Call You By Mine, and many more. That's it for news, entertainment. Back to you, Camille.
Thanks, Amal. That's this edition of Say News. On behalf of the entire Say News team, I'm Camille Wilson. Thanks for watching.